Shalom, shalom, how you want to walk, which is good day. Knocking out high, Borisha Allah, how lakim la thumb. Call Shabawai Baharakha, Wakak Shaw, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Ma'amath, which is truly hate with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out. The spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, to preach to you so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Asians, Israelite foreigners. Nacham, Atam, Kaya, Hamalak, Watha, Shemayim, Korah, repent, yea, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. First and foremost, before we get started, I'm going to say, Call Light La, Yahweh a double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us the truth and rule well, and much respect to you, brother, that are there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Pretty much as the lesson titled, we're going into the apparitions in Miami, you see, because the scriptures call this place spiritual Egypt, you know, so this is nothing more than the Lord touching this place again, you know, Egypt 2.0, Rome 2.0, you know, America, Babylon the Great. So that's what we're seeing happening in Egypt. So we're going to start with that article.
Khan, would you like me to play the video first?
Khan, yeah.
Khan. So this is posted from Daily Mail. Posted, let me see here real quick. Block it. Posted January 6, 2024. All right. The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Article titled Aliens in Miami. Eerie footage shows 10-foot tall alien-type creature floating above Miami cops as they respond to New Year's Day shooting, as officers reveal what the camera really picked up. Go ahead and play this video. So it's no sound on there, but
well,
that was the footage.
It's all over social media. It has some guys. It was a guy. He was there. He was like he was tripping out, and then today, you know, he pretty much was like he don't even know what happened. You know, and then it's also they coming out. You know how Esau does with his reports and stuff like that. Pretty much saying that it was somebody's shadow, and he said it was some teenagers. You know, but we understand what this is in the spirit. You know, because why else would they call hundreds of cops? Why would it be helicopters? Why would it be people bugging out all over social media? You know.
Exactly.
That's right.
Continuing in that article, it says eerie footage captured of Miami's police response to an incident on New Year's Day appeared to show an alien-type creature floating around. It was widely shared by conspiracy theorists on social media who claimed a 10-foot tall silhouette walking near cop cars was from another planet. One user claimed a glowing figure was walking through smoke during the chaotic scene. It came after around 50 teenagers started a riot outside Bayside Marketplace and caused a panic by setting off loud fireworks. And it goes on to say the Miami Police Department has revealed the strange figure in the video was actually just a shadow of someone walking. But like the brother has said, what sense does it make to have hundreds of cops out there, helicopters, all of this taxpayer money focused on one individual?
Mm-hmm.
It goes on to say the footage shows multiple cop cars lined up outside a mall with their emergency lights on. One clip, what appears to be a large gray figure is seen walking close to an entrance that sent rumors flying among conspiracy theorists. It says Miami's Bayside Marketplace video shows something weird, a glowing figure walking through smoke during a wild scene. But Miami police quickly dispelled the rumors and pointed out that the unknown figure was actually the shadow of someone walking. What is seen on this clip is the shadow of someone walking. If you look at the bottom of the shadow, you can see the person, no creature. The police response at the mall was sparked by a large group of unruly teenagers who were causing trouble roughly 5 miles from South Beach.
Which, when you look at the picture, it doesn't look like a shadow. It looks like an actual apparition, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of the article?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly.
We can get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 17. Yeah, start with that.
Can we start with second Ezra's?
Yeah.
To explain the
I got a definition real quick before you get that.
this apparition in the Adam Online Dictionary. It reads supernatural appearances or manifestation, right? So even let's say, even if it's not a real thing, let's say it was a shadow, right? We know these things are about to start coming into play, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're 5 days in, 6 days in into the so-called new year, and we've already seen the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai intensifying, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that apparitions are a part. Like I said, it's a supernatural appearance or manifestation. So these manifestations are going to continue to grow and have more and more occurrences, man.
That's right.
That's right. God, this is the book of
The bar.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter
What-
17.
We'll
The
start
bar.
with Ezra 15.
Okay, come.
I'm gonna start at verse 10 in second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 10, it says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will now suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." Okay.
Which the Lord is, taking his hopeful elect, from Egypt, starting with this truth. That's what's delivering the elect from this spiritual or from this bondage.
Mhm. Yep. But the 2/3, as we see them carrying in the way in the fashion of Egypt, they're gonna find themselves at odds with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and that's gonna cause them to be in that slaughterhouse.
Mhm.
Verse 11. "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before,
Mm-hmm.
and will destroy all the land thereof."
Right. So we're seeing the plagues. All right. Apparitions was one of those plagues. All right. The economy was failing. I believe it was a famine. Pretty much the Lord is striking Egypt on all sides, because what's going on is, Romans, the 8th chapter, where the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, put him up to this high position. Pretty much now the plagues are hitting Egypt, and, he ain't got no answer for it,
God.
God.
Go get the Wisdom of Solomon.
I got a quick precept, if I may,
Right.
because going back to everything, the precept that the brother just read, you see that Egypt, right, back then was smitten with plagues. You see, so in today's time, right, which is America, right, because America goes back to Sodom and Egypt, right. The Lord is getting ready to smite this place here with plagues, man. You see that, and also one of the plagues that were back then, right, just like the brother Uwam had said, was darkness, man. I want to read that real quick. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 21. And it reads, "And the Lord," I start at verse 20, and it says, "But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let the children of Israel go." You see that? Verse 21, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be a darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." You see that? So just pulling out the account, right, of ancient Egypt being smitten with darkness, man. You see that? In the Most High, he's going to smite this place with the same damn thing, man. You see, verse 22, Exodus chapter 10, verse 22. "And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. And they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days, but all the children of Israel had light in their houses." You see that? So I wanted to read this here, man, because Yahweh Ratazah, right? We'll have that light in these dark times, man. You see, because when all hell break loose, right, and Esau, just go ahead and just say fuck it and just start rolling in his draconian laws, right, making them mandatory. Right, it's going to be a very lawless world out here, man. So going back to the article that we just brought out, right? These things are getting ready to happen more and more, man. You have people out there seeing shit, pretty much bugging the hell out, man. Hey,
What was that?
That was Exodus chapter 10, verse 20 through 23.
I'm gonna get that word for said darkness.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Okay. It's Strong's H2822, Chashak. It says the dark, hence literally darkness, figuratively misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness.
Man.
The scriptures say, brother Well, we don't got to get pretty much the scriptures say that there should be sword, famine, and great confusion. Roughly paraphrasing. So going into that confusion, obscurity is darkness. It's literally no hope in this place. Because people can see that pretty much everything is going to shit. And also nobody knows what's going on. It's great confusion going on. It's darkness. It's misery. Everybody's in misery.
Right.
That's right.
Because there was
That's
a
right.
point in time where everybody thought they had the answers for everything, man, right? But now we're seeing, unexplainable events take place, and the only people with the answers are the prophets, man. Right? The only people who can explain, why these things are coming to pass is the men of the Lord. So that darkness, that confusion, that sorrow, that ignorance, right? The misery, people. One of the greatest fears people have is the unknown, right? So they don't know what's coming to pass. They don't know why it's happening, right? And they don't know what the future holds, right? But through the Spirit and power of how about Shemal Shai, we do, and that's that stability that we're gonna have in these coming times, man.
I got a quick one. Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 7. It says, "And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou art given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly," which that word carelessly goes into batak, which goes into to confide, or pretty much has security, which is a false sense of security, because pretty much people in America, Babylon the Great, feel like, hey, this is life. Life can't get much better than this. They enjoy your life. They feel like they can't be touched. So pretty much the Lord is giving them a awakening, or a rude awakening, because judgment is coming and these plagues are touching the earth. All right, I'm gonna keep. It says that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. That's pretty much the spirit of the elites and the ones that run the United States, you see. But then also those that's inside this country, they got that false sense of security, that false sense of hope, Which when they're seeing these plagues, they're being perplexed. Like it says, and I believe it's in Luke. Or Slop. I misquoted that one. That goes into the.
No, you're right. Perplexity. I'll grab it right quick. That's Luke 21 and 25.
Okay.
Let me just grab it right quick just to pull up the definition so that you could expound on that context, because that does coincide with the return of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which also ties into the plagues coming upon the earth, like you had made mention of.
That's right.
They're synonymous with one another. This is the definition for perplexity. Strong's G 6640 aporeia. And then when you go into the definition, the root definition is Strong's G 639 aporeo. It says to be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn.
And we just got that in Exodus 10 and verse, what was it, 20 something? Around that darkness, that obscurity, that no sense of hope, misery, destruction. That's what's coming to America. That's what's in America, Babylon the Great, but it's only going to increase. When we start to see it increase, people don't have answers.
That's right.
I got a precept for you. This Amos chapter 5 and verse 18 in the NLT. It reads, "What sorrow awaits you who say, if only the day of the Lord were here. You have no idea what you are wishing for.
Man.
That day will bring darkness, not light. In that day, you will be like a man who runs from a lion, only to meet a bear. Escaping from the bear, he leans his hand against a wall in his house, and he is bitten by a snake. Yes, the day of the Lord will be dark and hopeless, without a ray of joy or hope." So just going into that hopelessness that's about to come upon the place, man. Right, that darkness, that without a ray of joy, right? There's not going to be any reprieve, any escape, right? As you read in Second Thessalonians, or is it First Thessalonians 5th chapter, right? It talks about how there will be none shall escape, man. Right. So this is the time we're coming into. It's going to be utter darkness, man, and we're seeing that darkness, start to grow.
Right.
That's right, brother.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, this is the book, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, and I'm going to start at the top, verse 1. It reads, "For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when righteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence.
Right, so it says, for when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, which is the nation of Yasha'Allah. All right, this happened in what do you call it? Prior Egypt, you see, but that's happening now as well because we are enslaved by Esau. Could a brother get Shamwath Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2? Baruch
Let's see, I got it. Okay, come.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. It reads, I'll start at 1. It says, and Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right, so the house of bondage represents Egypt represents the house of bondage. All right, this is the house of bondage because it says, for when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, you see. So pretty much, again, Egypt is synonymous with bondage, being in servitude, like the scriptures say, thou shalt be subject to payments, roughly paraphrased, and I believe it's in Baruch somewhere.
Right, when you go into Egypt is Mizraim. And when you go into it, it pretty much means double straights.
Right.
Yeah.
You keep on the bar.
This is the book Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 3, and it reads, For while they supposed to lay hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and shouted with strange aberrations.
Right. So it says, for while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, because scriptures say that pretty much they feel like who seeth us, because they ultimately they're oppressing us, but they they had a secret councils, their heart is deep, so they pretty much go into these different Build-A-Bear meetings and stuff like that, and planning stuff, and they feel like the Lord isn't seeing what's going on. So it says,
"Oh, can I get something to add to that?"
Okay.
The scripture that speaks about how they thought that they were all together with him. Let me get that right quick. It's in Psalms. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 51, and let me see here. I'll get straight to the point. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 20. It says, Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And this is speaking of the Edomites, all right? Because the Edomites, they are the brother of Jacob, all right? Esau and Jacob, all right? The two progenitors of the nation of Edom, the Israelites, right? But the Edomites putting us in captivity, subjecting us to bondage, they've pretty much set aside a system that will try to keep us entrapped in sin, all right, and against our power. Verse 21, the point, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence, right? Because Esau never being checked for the things that he's done. In his mind, him being puffed up with pride, he thinks that what he's doing is okay. It says, thou thoughtest that I was altogether such am one as thyself. So these Edomites, all right, they think that the Lord is really on their side. Okay, they think that everything that they're doing is okay, putting Israel in these pitfalls and snares to keep on in a way of wickedness and sin and transgression is okay, right? But the point, it says, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So the Lord is raising up the elect in these times, all right, as we have read in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, right, that the Lord will no longer, let me just reference it right quick, that the Lord would no longer suffer them now that dwell in the land of Egypt. Okay, so what we're seeing now is the raising up of the elect, all right, out of the nation of America, right, which is Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, and these plagues that we're seeing are synonymous with that outgoing of America, Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt. Just wanted to make that point.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse I'll read verse 4, and it reads, For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. Verse 5, no power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flame of the stars endure to lighten that troubled night, or like that horrible night.
Right. Let me get a precept. This is this one worked. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 27. It says, "For the Lord of hosts hath purposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back?" It's also a precept that says, it's in Ezra somewhere. Pretty much, the hand of the Lord is on. If it's on something, then who's gonna turn it back? Or the arrows are shot. Who's gonna take it back? But pretty much, it's nothing that they could do. Just like it's nothing that America, Babylon the Great can do in these moments, because the Lord has already prophesied that this is going to happen. So it's happening.
That's right, brother. And I wanted to read that in the NLT or Shlaki or the Good News Bible. This is the book Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. I'm gonna start at verse 3, and it reads: They brought their sins, Shlaki. They thought their sins had been secret and unnoticed, shielded from view by a dark curtain of forgetfulness. But now they were horribly afraid, confused, and terrified by ghostly forms. Not even the dark corners were there, where they lay could protect them from fear. They were surrounded by horrible noises. Grim ghosts with gloomy faces appeared before their eyes. Verse 5, no fire had power to give them light, and the brilliant stars could do nothing to relieve that deathly darkness. Now I want to read that there, man, because the Good News Bible, it kind of it either hit it or miss it. But I want to read this here, man, because you got to realize the Lord that we serving, man. You see that? You got people out here that think, God is, the Most High is, God of love. Nah, man, scriptures call him the King of terrors, man. I want to read that too. This is the book of Job, chapter 18, and I'm going to read verse 11. And it reads, terror shall make him, you know what? I'll read verse 14. It reads, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the King of terrors. You see, because the Lord that we serve, man, as a matter of fact, when you go into that, it means demon-like power, man. You see, so the Most High that we serve, he can bring your worst fear upon you, man. Where you just sitting there in the corner, you got the lights out and shit. You think that you seeing shit, man, right? So the Lord that we serve, man, it is great to bring back these same kind of things, man, right? So this is why we should have a healthy fear of the Lord, man, because imagine just sitting there somewhere, you think you hearing some shit, and it ain't nothing there, man. Right, the Lord could literally cause you to bug out like that, man. You got to
I want to add to that point, right? Because when we think about back then in Egypt, this is referencing the time of the Pesach, right? Mm-hmm. What do we have to do? We had to cover the doorposts with that blood. All right, right. We know that blood now is representative of what? Being covered by Yahweh Shai. So like Brother the Bar had made mention of, having that healthy fear, that reverence of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is imperative. All right. And that coincides with what? Doing the things that we were instructed to do. All right. If the scriptures tell us to do, put on as the elect. All right. Because what we're about to see, as we already see going into this year, apparitions, we're going to start to see other things that are synonymous with the plagues of Egypt. Okay. Because it's inevitable. There's no turning away, as the brother Yawam had referenced. All right. The will of the Lord is to be done. All right. Isaiah 55 and 11. All right. The will of the Lord is going to stand. All right. The scriptures also say that it's the Lord's zeal to give us the kingdom. So what does that mean? In order for us to obtain the kingdom, to obtain rest, there has to be plagues brought upon Egypt. There has to be a destruction of this system. So we have to continually build and fortify that relationship, so we have that sure foundation in the times to come.
Right. We get that Wisdom of Solomon.
This is the book, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. And I'm going to read verse 6. It reads, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of it, of itself, very dreadful, for being such terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not.
Right. So it said, for being terrified, and we know the Lord is the king of terrors, because he knows the thoughts of man, so he knows, what I'm saying, your worst fear. That's why it's important that you, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, fear the Lord, but we understand that only 1/3 is going to fear the Lord on this side,
That's right.
You keep going.
Right. Come on. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 7. As for the illusions of art, of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace.
Right. So could a brother get Isaiah chapter 19, and I think it's yeah. Let me see. Isaiah 19, I think it's verse 3. Another brother get Isaiah 47. I get it.
I got 19 and 3.
Okay.
It's the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits,
right, and
to the wizards.
Which that word wizard goes into pretty much somebody that has their eye open to the left-hand side, you see. Could a brother also get Job 14 and 5? And another Sirach 19 and 22. Because it says, I'm going to read it again. It says, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down. Because just like, I think the name was Jones and James or something like that. Right. Pretty much, Lord used Mashah Moses, to do pretty much defeat them. That's pretty much the same thing that's happening in the spirit now. It says, and their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace, you see, because Esau for so long he was able to benefit off that witchcraft, just like he tried to do in that article. He tried to say, oh, it was teenagers, this, that, or the third, because he thrives on that witchcraft, but it's going to be shown that, hey, he's going to be exposed. Have no choice but to come down with the force.
This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Right. So he has bounds that he can't pass, going into his rulership, but then also the amount of left hand power that he got on the left hand side, you see, because the right hand always trumps the left hand, Sirach 19 and 22.
Okay. It says Sirach chapter 19 and verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence.
Right, so it's never prudence. It's just fitting prophecy. So front this back, it says, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down. That's why it's going to be put down, because it has parameters. You see, just like he can't search out all the earth, he can't search out all the sea. So he has specific bounds, and he understands this. It says in their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace. Baba Shah, could a brother get the well, I get it. Definite vaunting.
Let me see here.
Right here, I got it. It says vaunt. It says boast about or praise something, especially excessively. So hubris, excessively prideful. So Esau feel like, hey, this same playbook been working for me the whole time. Hey, it's gonna work again. What they call it, old faithful. That's how he. You see, but he's gonna be cast down. We keep going in that Wisdom of Solomon if brother didn't have nothing else.
I just want to look up the word vaunt in the online etymology, and it means vaunt, speak vainly or proudly. And is that not talking about Esau, Edom, right? Scriptures say, let me see here. Let me keep reading here. To talk, speak highly of, empty, void, fruitless. Let me see here.
I got something.
So just adding on to what you had just brought out, how these devils here, pretty much, everything that as a matter of fact, scriptures tell you that oh man, how does the scripture go? The heathen, or why do the heathen rage? You know, so Esau, you know, he's the one that like to boast himself, you know, tell you all kind of crap. But you know, at the end of the day, it's the Most High that's in control of these devils. You know, got them working on the left hand side. So the Lord's getting ready to, you know, definitely work. And these devils here days, man. You see?
I got
If I could, I'm sorry.
it say to utter empty words. So pretty much the Lord can't catching Esau bluff. You know, it's a bluff.
Okay.
I wanted to grab that Isaiah 19 in the NLT. It reads verse 3. The Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom, and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. You know, so we see part of these apparitions is Esau Edom, you know, tapping into that left hand witchcraft, man. Right? Them opening up these portals, right? Them having access to these demons, right? But they don't understand that the Lord controls all these things, man. Right? These demons are double agents, right?
Right.
They operate and they helping Esau, you know, with his ambitions. But when the Lord, you know, calls them off, right? They're going to be looking and pleading, and that's why it says He's going to confuse their plans because they don't understand that they don't have full control of these things, man.
Right.
That's right. This is going back to the Wisdom of Solomon. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, and I'm gonna read verse 8. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at.
Right. So just like the point Brother Quanawaf brought out, pretty much, they don't have any control over these different apparitions because these demons are double agents. You know.
Mm-hmm. Verse 9, it reads, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 9. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air which could of no side be avoided.
Right.
For
it's gonna be people in these times, you know, they gonna die of fear. You know, it might be people, you know, dying of heart attacks, stroke and shit, you know, stuff like that.
As scriptures say, all hands shall be weak and all knees shall be weak as water, roughly paraphrasing. Right?
That's
It's that
right.
fear, you know, that, you know, you're going up against something that you have no control over, man, that you really know you can't fight against. Right? And that's why we know it's going to take the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, to get on these devils to fight back. You know, as you reading what is 2nd Ezra 13th chapter.
God. Yeah, man, the Lord gonna put that spirit, cause you know how kids are, you know, when they're afraid, they want to hide under the covers, ain't nothing there, you know. So the Lord gonna put that same spirit back on some of these people out here, man, and make them want to hide under the covers and shit. You know, think that they seeing shit where really it ain't nothing there, but it's the Lord that's plaguing their mind.
Right.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 11. It reads, "For wickedness condemned by their own witness is a tremorous, and being pressed with conscience, always forecasting grievous things."
Right. So I'm running back. Says, for wickedness condemned by her own witnesses, very timorous, and being pressed with conscience, always forecasted grievous things. You see, so pretty much following in wickedness, you know, it's always going to forecast. It's always going to come with, you know, a wicked reward if you don't repent. I'm gonna get a quick one, and then we can close it out if brothers didn't have nothing else. This is this is Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 28 and verse 3. It says, "Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert," which that word desert is gamawal, which means a recompense. You know, so a recompense for the stuff that you've done. You know, your conversation and your conduct in your lifetime. You know, so if you're following after wickedness, you're gonna be destroyed. You know, if you don't repent. You see, that's pretty much it. If brothers didn't have nothing else.
God.
That's it.
Well, Adawan Tazaza Banayapa, a Lord's will does a beautiful edification through the Spirit. While Adawan Tazaza Dam Yashawan Tawab, a Lord's will, you'll have a good day. We go to close it out by saying, Call light and law, Yahweh, a double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and rule well, and much respect to you bros that are pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. While
Shalom.
May God speak to the elect. Shalom, shalom.
So,